Yeah, Mr. Vice President, there's so much if we have to embark on this discussion that we can talk about. I'm asking you the last question now, which you can add with maybe your closing remark and a word to the home front and to the donors. With all of this that is happening, some having truce at the home front without proper consultation, some fighting and the dismantling of our defense apparatus, the forming, the evolution from now a failed Unity Warriors to an APL. I'm not sure if I know that acronym well. With all of this, what lesson would you, as the second in command of this interim government, working very closely with the president to change the ground game, what lesson would you have said this government has learned? And how can you assure Amazonians that the same mistakes won't be made? Again, just to add to that question, what framework have you put in place to coordinate from bottom top and to make sure that we do not have a repeat of the same quagmire? You can conclude on that note, Mr. Vice
Okay.
President.
Like I said, we have been making overtures towards most of our men and women on home front ever since the disruption started. Like I said, people in the diaspora, have been calling and trying to find ways to be relevant. Some of them call themselves IG, some of them call themselves other things. Let me just be frank. The fact of the matter is, when this war started, nobody in the diaspora asked anyone on home front to pick up arms. These people had no arms. La Republique terrorists started killing them, and they decided to pick up everything that they could pick up to defend themselves. So we in the diaspora, their brothers, decided to say, hey, you know what? When you cry to us that, hey, please help us, it is our moral responsibility to help our people stay alive. And we've started, organizing ourselves to actually come to their aid. But the thing is, La Republique has a way of doing things. All the divisions in the diaspora is actually La Republique's handwork. But to their surprise, the interim government, like they thought would have, the interim government is still standing. Their goal was to destroy the interim government because the interim government was the strongest entity actually making things work on home front. So when they brought all these other people like Marianta, Chris Anu, and all these people, they thought that would be the end of the interim government. But guess what? We have managed to maintain our restoration forces under our structure. And what we are telling them is that keep up the good fight. Just always remember to cut the cards. Before all these divisions on home front, if a restoration fighter could go into another county to give backup, but now it's so difficult because you have your own brother who is there trying to kill you. And so what we have done so far is like we have reached out to other groups like the Unity Warriors and things like that. Say, hey, you know what? If you don't want to stay within the restoration forces, we have no problem with that. But please, turn your guns against La Republique. Don't turn your guns against your brother. And one other thing I'm going to say here. There's something on home front called APRC. They reached out to us, said they want to have a meeting with us, and that after they have a meeting with us, they are going to have a meeting with Cristiano, Marianta, and all these other people, Boo Herbert. They've mentioned so many names. My response to them was that you don't have to have a meeting with us, because we never encouraged you to create anything called Ground Zero Command. If you want to go meet with Chris Anu, Marianta, and the rest, the one question that I would like you to ask them is how much money can they actually contribute to help you? Because we are not going to have a meeting with you because we do not endorse any Ground Zero Command. So these are the people who have encouraged you to do all these things down there. So let them fund you. We will concentrate in empowering our restoration forces to do their part. If you have those who have encouraged you to do what you're doing, then you know what? Just do your part, but please turn your guns towards La Republique and not towards your own brothers. That is what we are doing. That's why I say the Ambazonian people must understand this. That the interim government has no animosity towards anyone who wants to create something down there. I know that most of the things that are being created down there is meant to weaken the interim government, but it hasn't worked because you know what? It's better for us because now we have a very lean and sophisticated force. Before we had to sponsor everyone, but now we have a small contingent of restoration forces in every county that we can help to actually defend their communities. So while they thought they brought the division to actually disrupt our operations, they have actually helped us in the sense that now the good ones that are left, we are able to help those good ones without being too overstretched. So those who have decided to create what is called Unity Warriors or APNC, they are on their own. Let them do whatever they want to do, but we are pleading with them to leave the restoration forces alone. We will take care of the restoration forces because you know what? We command them. We don't have anything to do with Unity Warriors because we don't know where they get their orders from. We don't know where APRC get their orders from. So I'm encouraging every restoration fighter on the ground to stay within their chain of command and listen to their chain of command. And we will continue empowering them to defend themselves against their own brothers whose only mission is to kill them and against La Republic. So you made mention of the fact that Shina Rambo is now writing out a lot of things or whatever. I know that I listened to one of his outings where he said he's gonna bring La Republic closer to his own enemies and stuff like that. But I just want him to know, if he ever listens to this, that the restoration forces have never been its enemy. And that when he was in trouble, we tried to rehabilitate him. When he was hungry and he made audios telling us that he was hungry, he didn't have anything to eat, we gave him money. But the mistake that he made was that he wanted to eat from both sides. He was talking to us, but he was also talking to our enemies. He was talking to Monja. If you have a fighter on home front who communicates with Eddie Smith, communicates with Chris Anu, communicates with all kinds of people, then what could we have done? Which means he had already given up. He was just there to take from whoever he could take from. So we did not fail. We did not fail him. We tried to rehabilitate him, and it just couldn't work because he just had so many forces. He was listening to so many people, and we just couldn't really convince him that these people are not people you are supposed to listen to. So that's all I have to say about that. We're just going to keep doing what we are doing. And like I said, this is just 20% of what our capability will be. Let's just give it some time. But the fact of the matter is, the Ambazonian people have drafted in the federal draft, and they are beginning to see the results. And we're going to keep empowering our men and women to defend their communities. That's as far as I can go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. This is just the beginning. There's a lot